to call each other names.
Right.
Because, and if he slips and says something that I think that he's trying to attack my beingness, if you will, I'll say, you meant to say I'm acting like a, not that I am this thing, right?
Right.
There's a big difference. So what I get with this isn't who he is. This is a behavior. This is a learned behavior. And let me see a little bit more. I just Googled inferiority complex in Wikipedia. Let me just check it out for a second.
Okay.
Feeling that one is inferior to others in some way. Such feelings can arise from imagined or actual inferiority in the afflicted person. Is often subconscious and is thought to drive afflicted individuals to overcompensate, resulting in their spectacular achievement. Unlike a normal feeling of inferiority, which can act as an incentive for achievement, inferiority complex in an advanced state of discouragement, often embedding itself in one's lifestyle, sometimes resulting in a retreat from difficulties. So I don't believe that this is all of who he is by any means in terms of behavior. I think there's pieces of it that crop up, and it's any kind of arrogance as opposed to humility comes out of a need to feel, it's almost like he has to put himself on a pedestal to help in some way because he doesn't feel good enough. So, where I'm going with this, what's that? I'm not saying he wears this on his sleeve and he walks around saying, Michelle, I don't feel good enough today. No, it's not like that. So what he does instead is he'll put other people down when these feelings come up. Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
When those feelings of insecurity come up and he doesn't know how to handle it, this is what he does. Do you understand? I don't even think he's aware of it. It's something that an inferiority complex would come about from having two parents that potentially damaged him on some level. I'm sure he carries a great deal of shame around his childhood.
I can see it sometimes. I can see it. It's almost like, I mean, he has you're so right, yeah. I can see it in his face sometimes.
Yeah.
In his eyes.
That kind of shame. Now, I've been working with people all over the country for a few years now, and I really realize that these wounds that we have don't necessarily just disappear because we get another year older.
Right.
And so I've done a lot of work myself. Dean's done a lot of work myself. I'm not himself. We're not by any means there. I'm not an ascended master, but I have done enough inner work to a place where if someone were to approach me and I trusted them and they said, look, Ann, I think that I don't take on other people's opinions by any means. That's not what I'm saying. But Dean and I have a way of talking to each other that promotes a really healthy relationship, because at the heart of our relationship is that we know that we have each other's back, and that even if we don't say it in the most kind manner, we both understand that whatever we may say to each other, it's in the hope that we will be better people somehow. Does that make sense? Dean doesn't agree with everything I say. I think you got a little, inferiority thing over this. We all carry these things to certain degrees. Okay?
Right.
But as I see it, there's some kind of gentle conversation that I see in the future where you could describe how his behavior makes you feel. Again, I get that he likes to be your hero. He would probably be mortified if most people that act like this don't think there's anything wrong with it, because they're actually in the place of believing that they are making themselves look better. But isn't it something your dad said to you, cut you down one time when you had put somebody down and you were young and you didn't know differently?
That's right. I can't. Yes.
You didn't realize you looked bad.
I believe you remember that.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing. You don't know what you don't know. So awareness. So Eric is not carrying any awareness. He wholeheartedly believes when he thinks other people look stupid that it's making him look smarter. There's a way,
Or
and we'll work on your communication wealth center a little more, which is the throat chakra, the area of communication in general. When you communicate from your heart, you never create harm. So, I think this has been a great theme when you and I have been working together for the past, I don't know, lost track of how many weeks we've been working together. Four, I think.
yep.
But almost everything has centered around you having the self-worth and confidence and belief in yourself to know that you can have what you want when you ask for it, and when you speak from your heart, you will more oftentimes than not receive it. So let's work on, I would love to have a conversation with you today and have you call in next week and say, guess what, Ann? Eric doesn't do this anymore because he sees how silly he looks when he does it. That's right.
Well, what's been bothering me is, I've been wondering, is this an inherent part of his personality, or is this a behavior that can be? And I was thinking that it was just a part of who he is, and that's what
I know. That's why when I was channeling and I tuned in, I got that it was a behavior. I also got that he saw this behavior in his father. His father carried some of the same traits, looking down upon.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So imagine you're a child, and even if your childhood's kind of messy, you tend to take on the behaviors of the adults closest to you, and on some level, even if you have a so-called terrible childhood and parents that messed you up pretty badly, there's still an eternal bond of love, and even when you are so upset with your parents, at the same time you just wish you had their approval.
Right.
Which means that you approve of them.
I have the same thing.
Which means on some level you want what they have, even if it isn't any, he's taking on some of the less attractive qualities. I think Dee and I were just talking about this on the way in, and I forget what we were talking about. Something about learned behavior. Oh, yeah. I was just talking about conversation, how we say things in conversation that we don't even know why we're saying it, and because everybody else says it. And so you want to fit in with, like right now, was this swag? I mean, I have a 15-year-old son. So things, just different things become current, and suddenly they end up in the Webster's Dictionary years from now. So does that make sense? So that's a definitely learned behavior.
Right.
But let me see. Let me tune in a little bit more so I can try to give you some more concrete help and how. Let me just see what I can find out. But it's almost like I get the next time he does this, I can just see your face, like,
right,
like not and then how you can say, honey, I know you think that when I have to tell you how I feel, and in a totally non-attacking way, and align with him, say, or even, I used to think like that too. I thought that some people were stupid, and then so if you talk about yourself, then you're not talking about him, and you can say, I had this realization that, let me just see how this can come through. Hold on. What is it in particular that bugs you the most? The condescending?
Yeah, it's the tone. It's his tone of voice, and it's like
mean.
A condescending.
Feels mean. Right?
It's the best word. It's the best. I have a hard time describing it, but the best word I can think of is condescending.
I'm gonna look that one
up.
And
it's his tone of voice. It's just
Okay, let me tune in a little bit on that, but I want to get the word up so I can look at the exact meaning, because words are important, and when you say that, if I can spell condescending, there it is. Condescend. Okay, let's check this one out. To behave as if one is conscious of descending from a superior position, rank, or dignity. That's pretty much the picture that I got. He was putting himself up on a pedestal. That's, in effect, what he's doing.
Right.
To put aside one's dignity or superiority voluntarily and assume equality with one regarded as an inferior. All right, this is the setup here. In the spiritual level, none of us is better than the other. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah.
If someone doesn't understand a concept, it's been shown to me that it's as if someone can be in kindergarten or in college or in 8th grade. It doesn't mean that a college graduate is any better than a kindergartner. Right. It's the same philosophy. It's in school, it's study. In life, it's about having more awareness. The more awareness you have, the more aware you are that you are no better than anyone else. And that's true humility. Right. And then you can really serve coming from that place. You agree? You understand so far what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So with him being condescending, it's as though he has to come down off his throne and talk to the little people, or he's better than. He's feeling like he's better than other people. And again, it's almost like growing up, I feel that it felt like real survival. I mean, we do have egos. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of getting like this. He had a lot to handle with his childhood, and it's a real defense mechanism. That's another thing it is. As well as a learned behavior, it's a defense mechanism. I'm going to look that up too, so I can get the full gist of what they're telling me with this. Because with a defense mechanism, it's saying that he thinks he has something to defend. How's that one? So, he's got to defend his title. He's got to defend somehow when people act stupid around him, it triggers in him the need to defend how smart he is. It's threatening to him on some level. Are you following me? Because I'm getting a bigger picture of this. Let me see the. I'm trying
to process it.
Right, we're still going to figure out what to do with it, but they're kind of going around in a circle, so we can kind of go bingo. But here we go. Oh, I just said ego. Listen to this: defense mechanism, psychological strategies brought into play by various entities to cope with reality and maintain self-image. Healthy persons normally use different defenses throughout life. An ego defense mechanism becomes pathological only when it's persistent, usually leads to maladaptive behavior, blah, blah, blah. Basically, what I just said is his ego gets very threatened around people that he considers inferior to him, because it's almost like if he associates with that, it's like if someone has a cold or a virus, like, stay away from me. It's threatening to him.
Wow.
That's going to be hard to explain to him, I realize, because he's going to go, what are you talking about? I'm better than them. I'm not like them. I'm not afraid to be. It's a fear. It's a defense mechanism, because he came so close growing up to feeling like a failure. And we have healthy egos. There's a part of our psyche that does go into defense on a spiritual path, the path of the spiritual warrior, if you will, the great Gandhi and the Dalai Lama. There are states of consciousness we can attain that are free from the ego, that survive just grandly. You understand? And for the rest of us that haven't attained that level of consciousness, the ego is still very much in play as a survival. It's part of his survival coping mechanism, because there's something that he fears from his past, that he just, it's like he has to elevate himself above it so that he doesn't become it again, because he at one point in his life felt stupid, and all of the things that he is I'm so not that. It's like thou doth protest too much. I know I'm right on this one, because there's a part in you that does not feel the need to defend yourself. You don't